I have an abundance of fabric right now. Most of it is from estate sales or thrifting. Occasionally, a few of these pieces are from like Joann's. May she rest in peace. But for today's project, I really want to make it more of like a shopping my fabric stash kind of video. And so I really want to try to find a piece on this bookshelf that I can use in this project, because I have so much fabric, and it is a bad habit for me to go out and buy new things and only use the new things that I bring in, whereas I have this lovely hoard of fabric that is just waiting to be used. But really, I have so much fabric. Do you need rodeo fabric? I have rodeo fabric. Would you like fabric that looks like it's a Monet painting? I have some of that. I have geese. Do you want something that's made with geese? This is a true treasured find I found at an estate sale. Back to all things serious though. I have a few pieces in mind. I have this woven cotton, which is kind of like this maroon and cream gingham plaid almost. I think I want something a little more fun though. This is very like Little House on the Prairie vibes almost. So I'm not sure this is exactly what I'm looking for, but it's gonna go in the stack of maybes. I have two fabrics down here that I've been saving for a project. One is almost along the lines of the ones I had before. It's a red gingham that's really small. Once again, a Little House on the Prairie. And I have this cream fabric with all of these little red leaves on it. This is my top contender. The only thing is that it is actually a misprint fabric. I got it at an estate sale a long time ago. I think I have like 3 yards of this right now, but there are some folds when it was printed, and so there are lines all down the center of this, pretty unevenly distributed. And it's just areas that the ink did not go on when it was being printed. So it has quite a few flaws in it, and I'm wondering if I can find a pattern that works around those flaws, because I really like this fabric, but some of those creases can be pretty deep and pretty noticeable. So I'd have to be a little bit more careful when using this fabric. I have this blue quilting cotton, and it is very nice. It has a cute little floral on it mixed in. I really like this, but I'm not sure if there's enough for a significant project. I am going to throw this in the pile though, just to add a little bit of color. And I really like it, and I've been waiting to find a project that I can use this for. So I just need to like think a little bit harder. I have my options though. Most likely, if I can find a pattern that works, I think I am going to use this cream with the red leaf. I think it would just make a really nice top to wear within the winter time or just all year round. And so this is my top contender, but I'm going to find a pattern, and I'm going to keep all of these in mind as potential options. I have been scouring my Pinterest boards, my TikTok likes, and my Instagram saves to try to figure out what I'm going to make. And time again, I really just came back to the same exact picture that I've had saved since the summertime. And it's not really a winter top, not gonna lie, but I am determined to make this a winter top. And that is the Celine Blouse by Silver Saga Patterns. So with that, I have this fabric all pre-washed to help prevent shrinkage. I pre-washed it a long time ago, and I have my pattern all printed out. All that I have left to do is cut it out and actually make the top. Easier said than done. I have the fabric all laid out, and it doesn't look like it, but I ironed it. And I'm actually noticing that a lot of the errors that there are in the print are actually towards the end of this row of fabric. So up here is mostly untouched, and there aren't a lot of errors in it. I'm really excited about this because that means that I can put the pieces that aren't going to be gathered, or pieces that are going to go on the front, things that are going to be very noticeable. I can put that towards the end that doesn't have any errors in the print, and then it's all good. I don't have to worry about that at the end. The end that has a lot of the errors, that's where I can put like the ruffles and all of the bias tape, other little details where things are going to be really gathered tightly, or it's not even going to be showing on the outside of the garment. So that is kind of a relief. It was something I was thinking about, and so I'm definitely excited about this fabric, and this is the fabric that I'm going to choose. It is the cream fabric with the red leaf pattern all over it. I have more than enough for the shirt, so I'm really excited to cut out the pattern and cut out my pieces. It's been so long since I've worked on this project that I have chopped off all of my hair. It is a completely new month, and I have no idea what I'm doing with this project because I can't remember the instructions. I'm looking at page 8 of these instructions, and it very clearly says, I recommend making a toil to assess the bust length, waistband measurements, and overall fit before sewing your final garment. I'm not gonna be doing that. I have everything cut out right now. I cut it out a long time ago. And looking at the pieces, I vaguely know how everything goes together, but there is a lot of writing in this pattern. I'm looking at the directions right now, and there are 43 pages to this, including sizing and cutting measurements and fabric recommendations, as well as the actual directions for making this pattern. There are multiple variations to this, so I'm not surprised. But I am definitely a picture pattern kind of person, and scrolling through this, there are lots of pictures, but there's also so many words. And part of that is making me a little bit intimidated to go through and like actually figure out what I need to do for each portion of this. I was able to go through and cut everything out, and man, I forgot how much fabric a puff sleeve takes. This is the size of my torso, and it will be all gathered up and put on the sleeve. But I cut out the correct size according to my measurements, and I cut out 2 of the giant sleeves, so I'm really excited to see them come down to be one giant puff sleeve at this point. I guess before I can really like dive into this project again and figure out what on earth I am doing, I really just need to go through, refamiliarize myself with the pattern pieces. There's a lot of different pieces, especially for the ruffles, and I need to just sit down and like actually read this pattern. There's a lot of stay stitching on here, which I know is very good for the structure of the garment. Is usually something I skip completely, but maybe I'll do it. We'll see. I feel like it's fairly basic to put together. It's when the ruffles come in that I'm gonna need a lot more guidance. This is my first initial try on of this top, and I am really loving the size of the sleeves. Hello? As you may notice, this is a very wide neckline, and it looks like an off-the-shoulder top with the way I have it right now. But if I put where the shoulders are actually going to go with the final product, you can kind of see that the puff sleeves are going to end up about right above my elbow. I added a lot of ease in with the elastic. It's not tight against my skin. There's probably like 2 centimeters worth of like a gap almost, just because I hate when I have a shirt and this elastic in the arms get really tight and it's a little scratchy, and it's just something that really bothers me. And so I wanted to make sure when making my own puff sleeves that I had enough wiggle room in it, that I'm able to move around. It's not tight, it's not constricting, it's not gonna leave a red mark. And so I just have a nice puff sleeve, and it still holds its shape really nicely, and it's still hitting my arm in a place that I'm happy with. This pattern has gathering on the front and the back that I haven't done yet. And so there are some measurements in the pattern for how much I am going to gather, though I am going to be gathering it a lot for sure. Right now, the gathering thread I have in runs from about here to here. So you can see there's a lot of room in here for gathering, especially with the thread that's also on the back of this pattern. Wearing it right now though, it just looks very different from the final product that we're gonna see. I have been starting and stopping this pattern for a couple weeks now, just because I haven't been in the biggest mood to sew recently. I have been doing a lot more knitting than I have been doing sewing. And so when it comes to sitting down and working on a project, I always find something else that I want to do or that my attention goes to. But I am determined to get this shirt done. I have been staring at these pattern pieces for at least a month and a half, and I really want to have this shirt be done because I'm really excited about it with the fabric. It's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. So I am determined to get this done either tonight or tomorrow. And honestly, I 100% can do it. It's not that many steps. I have done harder projects in shorter amounts of times than this. Really, all I have to do is to fit the gathers, do the top ruffle, do the bottom ruffle, and do the little decorative tie here. Then it's all done. That should be so easy. With that, with my newfound determination, I'm gonna get started. That means that I have to get going for it. I just noticed my bobbin ran out. Let's see how long it's been since I stopped actually having any stitches. Oh, only that long. That's not that bad. I've definitely had worse. This is the first time that I've let my hair air dry with my new haircut. So if you have any curly hair tips for someone who doesn't want to look like a ragamuffin every single time they just let their hair dry, it would be appreciated. Because these bangs aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing at this point. I need to go in and style it with a heat tool. I ran out of time last night to finish up the top ruffle. And so I have it all gathered though, and I have all of the other ruffles put in. So I have this long strip here with my basting stitches in it to gather. All I have to do is gather this, attach it to the collar, and then attach the bias tape to the collar, because I am trying to get this done for a lunch that I'm going to in an hour. Now that is reasonably enough time for a task like this, but I just want to be mindful of the time that I have. Why is it when I have a deadline that these things like to happen? I only have the bias tape for the neckline left. That's it. Let me sew the bias tape. I really like this top. I'm super happy with it. I feel like I have the most ruffles and the biggest puff sleeves, and it just feels very spring to me. I'm really happy I went ahead and chose this fabric just because the red and the cream I feel like really fit into almost every season. I can see myself wearing this in the fall, in the winter, the spring, and the summer. And so this really just makes it a very versatile top that I'm really obsessed with. There are a couple pieces that are like kind of annoying me a little bit, but those are things that I can really easily adjust, such as this ruffle really likes to stick up right around here. Now, part of this was because I was wearing a sweater earlier with this, and the sweater kind of bunched up on the ruffle, so it just naturally sort of shaped it to be this way. I feel like a good iron or a press would take that down. I'm also considering tacking down the ruffle in a couple places just to help it not stand up so dramatically. The sleeves are very puffy, as I want them to be. Once again, with wearing a sweater, I felt like I had to kind of shove the sleeve into the sweater, but anything with puffed sleeves is going to have something like that. This pattern was really easy to follow. Originally, I was really intimidated by how many words and how long the pattern was. I believe it's about 43 pages, but once I started going, I realized that it really broke every single thing down step by step to the point where even for like the French seams, one point would be sewing the pieces wrong sides together. One step would be for trimming the fabric. The other step would be for ironing it together. The other step would be for sewing it wrong sides facing together. So it would break down a French seam really meticulously, which was actually really nice. But as someone who knows how to do a French seam already, seeing all of the words seemed a little bit intimidating for me. This pattern, I'm not sure exactly where the pattern maker is from, but everything originates in centimeters and millimeters, which I know is traditional for other countries. But then the English conversion for inches, it does make it a little bit tricky when sewing because sometimes it would be like 3/8 of an inch, which is a very normal seam allowance for a pattern. But then every once in a while you would get like 5/16, 9/16. And that's not something that I typically would look at or even expect from a pattern. And so I actually had to go in and with one of my like heat erase markers, mark on my machine in between some of the measurement tabs where like 5/16 is, where's 9/16, because it was in between my traditional measurements. And it was just, I kept getting mixed up with some of the measurements. I 100% will be making this pattern again. I think it's super cute. I like the way it fits. At the very end of this pattern, there are different ways for you to modify or to pattern hack for this. And so I definitely will be using some of those pattern hacks in the future. There's a nightgown pattern hack. There's ones where you take off the sleeves and add little ruffles to make a tank top. 100% will be making a tank top because I feel like this would just look super adorable with the little ruffles and everything. Super cute. Overall, I'm super happy with this project. I feel like you can't see any of the pattern mistakes within the fabric. So even the ones that I had on the puff sleeves, they're so gathered that you can't really see at all where there's any of those like misprints in the fabric. Thank you so much for watching though. My name is Lauren. I really like to sew, knit, and quilt, and I especially love to sew my own clothes. This was the Celine top by Silver Saga Patterns, and I highly recommend making this. I thought it was a really nice pattern, and I loved how many variations there were within the pattern. Thank you so much for watching. I put out videos whenever I finish a project. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, put it back. This is 9/16 of an inch that you have to sew. And I'm like, 9/16? What does that mean? I just sewed that entire seam in a basting stitch. So now I gotta do it again.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I meant to do that, you know?